Just standing here near I-35, seeing how quickly these cars are traveling, it just really puts it into perspective how brave this woman was and how desperate she was to get away from this man. Glass was coming from out of the sky. Now, if you take a look at this glass, it came down in very small pieces like this. There are 500 homes that are underwater. That's not even counting the ones that are partially flooded, like the one that you're seeing. It may look like I'm walking alongside of a riverbank, but that's not the case. This is actually a road. It has turned into a warehouse of sorting supplies for the hundreds of victims for Harvey in their community. It's hot, it's windy, and these are conditions that are favorable for wildfire season. It is still hot. If you look at the temperature right now of the sidewalk, we are still seeing well above 100 degrees. We tend to put these things in our ears and we just zone out and start running. APD says take one of them out so you can still listen to your music, but you also can hear what's going on around you. This is the pipeline and it runs through a neighborhood here in South Austin, but neighbors say they also know it as the Wildlife Interstate. It's a much different picture than it was this afternoon. The lights are on, the rides are going, people are enjoying themselves.
This is a document that y'all signed with the city to a water contract that was rigged from day one.
That's rock-throwing suspect, 59-year-old Patrick Eugene Johnson, at one of many city council meetings he attended.
And he specifically said 2 months prior to the contract being awarded, he has APD in his back pocket.
He's made a career out of just screaming bloody murder about everything. Basically conspiracy theorist type.
Johnson was arrested Thursday, and Chief Art Acevedo believes he's the person responsible for the majority of rock-throwing cases. Johnson became a person of interest after a detective noticed a trend of him calling 911.
When they started looking at the fact that he called them on more than one occasion and alleged that he was a victim a couple of times himself.
There have been 94 reported cases in the last 2 years, 3 where people have been seriously injured. This picture shows the aftermath of what happened to Tina Morales last November.
Shock. I mean, I thought I got shot. I kept on saying something. I think someone shot me in the neck. Someone shot me in the neck.
He has a prosthetic all the way through his head, and he had a stroke after he had the brain surgery. He had an aneurysm and they had to go in and it burst.
Chief Acevedo says they have evidence tying Johnson to the case where Kenneth Johnson suffered life-altering injuries.
I'm convinced by the time we're done with the prosecution of this case and jurors get a hold of this man that we ain't going to see him anytime soon.
Chief says he's confident they will charge Johnson with multiple aggravated assault charges as well as attempted murder.
Have you seen some of the damage that this man has caused? Mm-hmm. That if the damage hits the head of a person that's going 70 miles an hour, what do you think is going to happen? We're very lucky that nobody died.
A major break came in the case when a UTPD officer realized he was a victim himself and had dash cam video.
We see this video, oh Lord, that's that car, and so it all came together very nicely.
As for why, Acevedo says he is not interested in what his motive was, and as far as he's concerned, he was just trying to kill people. When
you think about the fact that we're fairly confident that he'd come back to the scenes to act like he's there to help, or to look at the results of his handiwork, says a little bit about this person and their mindset.
RaeAnn Christensen, Fox 7 News. Picture this, you're walking down Congress Avenue and pieces of glass just start falling from the sky. That's what 911 callers say was happening here, and it was actually coming from the tallest skyscraper in downtown Austin. Pretty scary situation, not knowing what size of glass was coming down, but it did look like this. It came down in these very tiny pieces, and that is likely why no one was injured.
It's kind of amazing that my car was one of the only ones that got hit because there are so many other cars in that lot over there.
It's not the way Elijah Allred says he was expecting to spend his Thursday afternoon. He works in downtown Austin, and someone came in his restaurant questioning about a red Camry.
I was like, oh no, it's been broken into. And they're like, no, it's not broken into. Something fell off of the top of the building up there, and the back windshield is broken.
48 stories up at the Austonian across the street at the tallest building in downtown, the Austin Fire Department says glass from a balcony broke. sending it plummeting down, damaging his car.
It's like this big spider web of glass in my back windshield.
His was one of at least 2 cars damaged. That's glass. AFD says specially designed glass is likely the reason no one was injured.
The safety glass is designed to come into small pieces so it does not hurt people on the ground.
Chief Thompson says while glass falling from skyscrapers is rare, it isn't the first time it's happened. A couple blocks away at the W, a few people were injured when glass fell multiple times back in 2011. The hotel had to be closed and streets around it were blocked off for safety reasons. Investigators found out weather was the cause. AFD says they don't know what happened yet at the Austonian, but they don't think it was criminal activity.
No one lives on that floor and there's no construction on that floor.
I've heard that this happens as a result of heat, but I'm not sure. I have never seen it personally, but there are rumors that glass is exploding all around Austin as a result of the summers.
Let's figure out opposing spots first. You know, we're going to be in line.
At the 2017 Cedar Park High School graduation, about a dozen Austin police officers reported for duty.
Probably you're going on this side, so it's going to be really tight. Yeah, you'll be her.
But this isn't their typical call.
It's a big family, you know, it's like a family reunion, so.
This calling started about 16 years ago.
Being here to show support for Michaela is a big deal for me personally, as well as all the other officers here.
And just like any other proud parent at graduation, these officers anxiously await their special senior.
Michaela Christian Hunter.
Michaela Hunter is met with many sideline cheers from these officers.
Quick.
But for Michaela, there's one officer missing in this picture.
Oh, hello, friends.
Her dad. Michaela is the daughter of fallen APD officer Clinton Hunter. The officers say they know they can't replace her dad, but they can fill in his spot, plus some.
Once you're part of the police family, you're always part of the family, and this is kind of our way to show solidarity with her and stand in for her father, who obviously is not able to be here with her.
Officer Hunter was hit and killed during a vehicle pursuit back in 2001. Hunter was setting out spike strips for a speeding vehicle when the suspect drove directly at him.
When an officer falls in line of duty, that's kind of how we do what we do every day, is we know if something happens to us that our colleagues will take care of our families.
Michaela was just 3 years old.
Oh, I don't know where to go first. Thank you so much. You're so sweet.
And while her dad can't be there to see her graduate, she knows now and forever she will have a special family there for her.
That makes me feel so great that they would all come and do this for me. It really shows all the love and support that the police officers have for fallen officers' children, and I love it. It's so great.
In Cedar Park, RaeAnn Christensen, Fox 7 News.